Hello, my name is Hakon, and welcome back, all you fabulous Fighting Fantasy aficionados, for yet another episode of Fighting Fantasy Fun. Today, I am again playing Deathtrap Dungeon. For the fourth time, technically, this is my third video about it, but last time, if you watched last week's video, or my previous video from Tuesday, I died twice. Oh, well, actually, I only died once that time. The second time, I managed to get all the way through the dungeon, but without the gems I needed to win, which means instead of winning, I actually got hired to work for the dungeon master, well, for life, which I suppose I didn't really have much of a choice in the matter, but I thought that was quite a cool ending anyway. So today I'll try again. I know I need some gems at the end. I can only presume I'm going to need three. I've only found one of them, so I've still got some work left to do in terms of locating the items I need to win the game. Otherwise, I do know how to get safely through, but I still need to put myself at some kind of risk, presumably, to find the last few items I need. So, another thing about this one, it seems, of course, that battle is unavoidable in this one, which means that a low starting skill is, well, a non-starter, really. So I probably might do some re-rolling again today. I'll just have to see. So, yes, I'll be with you in a moment, ready on my desk with my supplies. And, yeah, so let's get ready to play Deathtrap Dungeon. Ta-da! Okay, here we are. Got my supplies ready. I've got some unnecessary supplies today as well. I've got my writing pad for making my character sheets. As usual, I still haven't made a proper one. I've got my book, got my dice, pens, a pencil, and ruled squared pad for my map. Today I've also got, just because it looked cool and balanced out the thing here, I also put a lantern as well. It's about 100 years old, I think, this one, and it's pretty cool. And I don't have the right batteries for it, and so I've actually wired it up to use electric. So yeah, it's connected to the mains, and it makes a very nice warm light that is brilliant when it's perfectly dark. So yeah, that's just for fun. Okay, so yeah, I can't even see the light, it's so faint. Anyway, let's get started. Now, the map is going to be quite crucial today because, and this is, of course, where I'll notice how badly I made the map last time, because it's so important to mark on the map where you find things, especially when you don't know for sure whether it's going to be important or not later. So you can go back and actually mark what is important. Now, I've got lots of red marks on my map, which I think I'm not supposed to do, the red squares. I've got a few things I know I need to do that I've circled, but I think still some bits missing that I haven't actually made a note of that I'm supposed to do. But the thing is, last time when you get to the end game, and there are a few items or books or scrolls that you should have read that will make a difference to the outcome. And although I think it's relatively linear when you get to that place where you find those, I still should have made a proper note of it. So there's a few things like that. But that aside, I think I will just get started. So, right, character sheet first of all. So, skill, let's see, and I'm well in shot today. Keep the book inside here, just for looks nice. So, skill, stamina, luck, and let's see, we've got gold as well, and provisions. And we're starting with 10 provisions, and we have our usual potion of stamina. Although it is possible that a potion of, depending on your stats, a potion of skill might actually be more useful. But Right, like so. So let's start with skill. I might have to re-roll this. I might have to re-roll this. I'll go with that. I'll go with 11. Actually, I don't like having 12, to be honest, because it's just too easy sometimes with 12. So stamina 8 plus 20. It's good. For 10. I think actually that is about, I think, what I call the perfect abilities, because it's not too good so that it's too easy, but it gives you a bit of a challenge while being quite strong. 11, 20, 10. I think that's my sort of arch example, I think, of a sort of well-balanced character that can be really fun to play in most of the game books. Whether that's a winnable combination or not in this game, I don't know, but in most books that is a good one to play with. You have a bit of a challenge sometimes. You can mess up your luck rolls, you can mess up your skill checks, you can still die in combat in most books, and yeah, it's more fun than having 12, 24, 12. So right, let's get started. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Yeah, of course, I've got my cup of tea as well. Right, lovely. And I got a notification on my phone, which is probably nothing important. No, just some nonsense somebody is sharing on WhatsApp. Right. Let's see, should I point the camera down a little bit, maybe? How's that? Yeah, because I'm sometimes going to lean down and... Yeah, I think that'll at least better. Okay. Despite its name, Fang was an ordinary small town in the northern province of Chiang Mai. Situated on the banks of the River Kok, it made a convenient stopover for river traders and passengers throughout most of the year. And I almost just remembered I've forgotten to check if my sound is rolling. A few barges, rafts, and sometimes even a large sailboat could usually be found moored at Fang, but all that was long ago, before the creation of the Trial of Champions. Now, once a year, the river is crammed with boats as people arrive from hundreds of miles around, hoping to witness the breaking of an ancient tradition in Fang and see a victor in the Trial of Champions. On 1st of May each year, I'm not going to say anything about that now, but yeah, May, Roman mythology, doesn't really fit in here. Warriors and heroes come to Fang to face a test of their lives. Survival is unlikely, yet many take the risk, for the prize is great. A purse of 10,000 gold pieces, and the freedom of Chiang Mai forever. However, to become champion is no easy task. Some years ago, a powerful baron of Fang called Sukhumvit decided to bring attention to his town by creating the ultimate contest. With the help of the townspeople, he constructed a labyrinth deep in the hillside behind Fang, from which there was only one exit. The labyrinth was filled with all kinds of deadly tricks and traps and loathsome monsters. Sukhumvit had designed it in meticulous detail so that anybody hoping to face its challenge would have to use their wits as well as weapon skill. When he was finally satisfied that all was complete, he put his labyrinth to the test. Excuse me. He picked 10 of his finest guards, and fully armed, they marched into the labyrinth. They were never seen again. The tale of the ill-fated guards soon spread throughout the land, and it was then that Sukhumvit announced the first trial of champions. Messengers and news sheets carried his challenge, 10,000 gold pieces and the freedom of Chiang Mai forever to any person surviving the perils of the labyrinth of Fang. The first year, 17's a bit of editing, because that's a repeat of something that's not necessary. So, yeah. Just one of those little things in the book. The editor should have fixed that. Anyway, to any person surviving the perils of the labyrinth of Fang. The first year, 17 brave warriors attempted the walk, as it later came to be known. Not one reappeared. As the years passed and the trial of champions continued, it attracted more and more challengers. Why would it do that? Because nobody survives it. Oh, people are stupid, I suppose. or everyone thinks they're better than anyone else. So. Fang prospered and would prepare itself months in advance for the spectacle it hosted each May. The town would be decorated, tents erected, dining halls built, musicians, dancers, fire eaters. I think actually a trial where you always have one winner would be more attractive to people than one when everyone always die. Or always dies. I don't know. Because it might, I mean, the thing is, for all people know, it might be so mind-numbingly impossible that nobody will ever do it. So why would you just go to your own death like that? There's no glory in that. Anyway, but if you know that for sure that one person will win, you just need to be better than all the others. And yeah, I think that makes more sense. Anyway, this is how they do it, and well, let's keep going. Yes, Fang prospered and would prepare itself months in advance for the spectacle it hosted each May. The town would be decorated, tents erected, dining halls built, musicians, dancers, fire eaters, illusionists, and every sort of entertainer hired, and entries registered from hopeful individuals intent on making the walk. The last week of April found the people of Fang and its visitors in wild celebration. Everybody sang, drank, danced, and laughed until day broke on 1st of May, when the town thronged to the gates of the labyrinth to watch the first challenger of the year step forward to face the trial of champions. Having seen one of Sokomit's challenges nailed to a tree, you decide that this year you will attempt the walk. For the last 5 years, you have been attracted to it, not for the rewards, but for the simple fact that nobody has ever yet emerged victorious from the labyrinth. You intend to make this the year in which a champion is crowned. Gathering up a few belongings, you set off immediately. 2 days' walk takes you west to the coast, where you enter the cursed port Blacksand. Wasting no time, in that city of thieves, you buy your passage on a small boat sailing north to where the River Cock meets the sea. And from there you take a raft upriver for 4 days, until finally you arrive in Fang. The trial begins in 3 days' time, and the town is in an almost hysterical mood of excitement. You register your entry with the officials and are given a violet scarf to tie around your arm, informing everyone of your status. For 3 days you enjoy Fang's greatest hospitality and are treated like a demigod. During the long merriment you almost forget your purpose in Fang, but the evening before the trial the magnitude of the task ahead begins to dominate your thoughts. Later you are taken to a special guest house and shown to your room. There is a splendid 4-poster bed with satin sheets to help you rest, but there is little time left for sleep. Just before dawn, a trumpet call awakens you from vivid dreams of flaming pits and giant black spiders. Minutes later, there is a knock on your door, and a man's voice rings out saying, "Your challenge begins soon. Please be ready to leave in 10 minutes." You climb out of bed, walk over to the window, and open the shutters. Already people are thronging the streets, moving quietly through the morning mist. Spectators on their way to the labyrinth, no doubt. Why would they do it quietly, though? I thought they were being quite revelrous. Or maybe they all got a hangover from the night before. Spectators on their way to the labyrinth, no doubt, hoping to find good vantage points from which to watch the competitors. You turn away and walk over to a wooden table on which your trusty sword lies. You pick it up and cut the air with a mighty sweep, wondering what beasts its sharp edge may soon have to meet. Then you open the door into the corridor. A small man with slanted eyes greets you with a low bow as you emerge from your bedroom. "Please follow me," he says. He turns to his left and walks quickly towards the stairs at the end of the corridor. Leaving your guest house, he darts down narrow alleyways between houses, and you have to walk quickly to keep up with him. Soon you come into a wide dirt road lined with cheering crowds. When they see your violet scarf, they cheer even louder and start showering you with flowers. The long shadows cast by the people in front of you shrink as the bright yellow sun rises higher in the morning sky. Standing there in front of the noisy and vibrant crowd, you feel strangely alone, aware of your coming ordeal. Suddenly you feel a tug on your shirt and see a small guide eagerly beckoning you to follow him. Ahead, you see the looming hillside and the dark mouth of a tunnel disappearing into its inner depths. As you get closer, you notice 2 great stone pillars on either side of the tunnel entrance. The pillars are covered with ornate carvings, writhing serpents, demons, deities, each seeming to scream a silent warning to those who would pass beyond them. You see Baron Sukhumvit himself standing by the entrance, waiting to greet the contenders in the trial of champions. You count 5 others standing proudly in line, the violet scarves displayed for all to see. There are 2 bare-chested barbarians dressed in furs. They stand completely motionless, legs straight and slightly apart, arms thrust forward to rest on the hilts of their long double-headed battle-axes. A sleek elven woman with golden hair and feline green eyes is adjusting the crossbelt of daggers wrapped around her leather tunic. Of the 2 remaining men, one is covered from head to foot in iron plate armor with a plumed helmet and a crested shield. The other is cloaked in black robes, only his dark eyes showing between the swathes of his black face scarves. Long knives, a wire garrote, and other silent death weapons hang from his belt. The 5 contenders acknowledge your arrival with almost imperceptible nods of the head, and you turn to face the exultant crowd for the last time. Suddenly a hush falls over the crowd as Baron Sukhumvit steps forward holding 6 bamboo sticks. You draw one from his outstretched hand and read the word 5th. Then the trial begins. The knight is first. He salutes the crowd before disappearing into the tunnel and is followed half an hour later by the elf. Next goes a barbarian and then the dark assassin. And now it is your turn to salute the crowd. Holding your violet scarf aloft, you take one final deep breath of cool, fresh air before turning to pass between the stone-pillared gateway into Sukhumvit's corridors of power to face unknown perils on the walk through the mighty Baron's Deathtrap Dungeon. Now turn over. Right. And it feels like, just like last time I think it was, or last Monday, I have to blow my nose. So, I'll be right back. Just a moment. Right. So, righty-ho. I am back, and sorry about that. As you know, I don't like doing the breaks or the cuts or anything like that, but sometimes someone has to. So I think it's better I do it now than I sort of start getting even more sniffly and having trouble with it as I'm playing, especially when I have to talk a lot as well. I notice it really well. So, well, we're on paragraph 1, so let's get started, see what happens. The clamour of the excited spectators gradually fades behind you. Let's see how we zoomed in. Yeah, focus is good. Got quite a big range there. Okay. The clamour of the excited spectators gradually fades behind you as you venture deep into the gloom of the cavern tunnel. Large crystals hang from the tunnel roof at 20-meter intervals, radiating a soft light just enough for you to see your way. As your eyes gradually become accustomed to the near darkness, you begin to see movement all around. Spiders and beetles crawling up and down the chiseled walls disappear quickly into cracks and crevices as they sense your approach. Rats and mice scurry along the floor ahead of you. Droplets of water drip into small pools with an eerie plopping sound which echoes down the tunnel. The air is cold, moist, and dank. After walking slowly along the tunnel for about 5 minutes, you arrive at a stone table standing against the wall. 5 minutes, that's quite a long tunnel, man. You arrive at a stone table standing against the wall to your left. On it there are 6 boxes, one of which has your name painted on its lid. If you wish to open the box, turn to 270. If you prefer to continue walking north, turn to 66. So I'm going to open the box. I've done that before, and that's not a bad thing. So the lid of the box lifts off easily. Inside you find 2 gold pieces and a note written on a small piece of parchment addressed to you. So we got 2 gold pieces. Use the pencil for those. So 2 gold. There we are. After placing the gold in your pocket, you read the message, which says, "Well done. At least you have the sense to stop and take advantage of the token aid given to you. Now I can advise you that you will need to find and use several items if you hope to pass triumphantly through my Deathtrap Dungeon. Signed, Circumvent. Well, stating the bleeding obvious, I suppose. Memorizing the advice on the note, you tear it into tiny pieces and continue north along the tunnel. And as I pointed out last time, was it? Or the time before, you can't tear parchment into little pieces. You would be spending the rest of your day doing that if you were to. Anyway. And even if you could tear parchment into little pieces, why would you do it? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway. Continue north and go to 66. After walking down the tunnel for a few minutes, you come to a junction. A white arrow painted on one wall points west. On the floor you can see wet footprints made by those who entered before you. It is hard to be sure, but it looks as though 3 of them followed the direction of the arrow, while 1 decided to go east. If you wish to head west, turn to 293. If you wish to head east, turn to 119. So, I've been east and I've been west before. Now, east goes around a little circle, and the one thing I did get there that I know is useful is I got a rope, which will make it easier for me to get the emerald from the statue that I get to a little bit later. It's not essential, though, to get the emerald. What is essential is, the thing is, if you don't have the rope, there's a chance you might not get it at all. Because you have to test your luck, and if you fail, presumably you'll fall down and maybe don't get another chance. But my luck is quite good, so I think I can actually risk that. Because I still need to explore another bit. Now, on the left path, and then going left again, there is a bit where I died one time, very quickly, and another one where I found a bottle of acid, which I could use later, but that's also not an essential item, it looks like, because it was to use it on a door that I didn't have to try to open. So there's another bit here I haven't checked out yet, so I will go west. And I think the eastern path, I pretty much covered that one. So yeah, so I'm going to go to 293 and go west. Following the 3 sets of wet footprints along the west passage of the tunnel, you soon arrive at a junction. If you wish to continue west, following 2 sets of footprints, turn to 137. If you wish to head north, following the 3rd set of footprints, turn to 387. So I'm going to go north. I know somebody else has gone there before me, which is interesting. Ahead, you hear the thud of heavy footsteps. Approaching out of the gloom steps a large, primitive being dressed in animal hide and carrying a stone club. On seeing you, he grunts and spits on the floor, then raises his club and lumbers on towards you, looking anything but friendly. You draw your sword and prepare to fight the caveman. So, we've got caveman. And okay, so it's got skill 7 and stamina 7. So we've got, I am at 1120, 7. Just to do a quick run through of the combat as usual. This is a bit small, maybe you can't see it, but the thing is, I'll just put on the numbers. I will say them out anyway. So how the way combat works is that you have a skill and stamina. That's what I established in the beginning. A skill of 11 and stamina of 20. Your opponent gets a skill and stamina established in the book, so 7. For combat, first you roll 2 dice for your opponent. You add it to their skill. So in this case, I would roll 8, and I add it to his skill of 7, which is a total of 15. That's his attack score. And I do the same for myself. I rolled an 8 as well, and I add it to my 11. That's 19. That's my attack score. And whoever has a lower attack score is the one that gets injured. And they lose 2 stamina points, 2 health, and I like calling it hit points because I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I think that is the most elegant expression for it. For some reason, it just rolls trippingly off the tongue. And then you repeat until one of you is dead. Sometimes you're also given the chance of escaping, in which case your opponent gets an automatic attack on you as you escape. And also you may use luck in battles, which isn't a good idea because you need luck for other things, and every time you use your luck, it goes down, which means you get less luck in next time, so it's very risky to use it. But if you're in a pinch, you can still use it to either do 1 extra damage or to do 2 extra damage to your opponent, or to reduce damage by 1 to yourself. Although if you fail your luck test, you will actually do less damage to your opponent if you use it to do extra damage, and you will take more damage if you do it to prevent damage. So if the attack rolls of both parties are the same, then of course nobody is injuring anyone. You're just sort of parrying each other's attack and blocking and parrying and stuff, so or dodging. So that's the long and the short of it. And so this was the first combat round, and so he got hit by me, and he's down to 5 hit points. So next round, and what I usually do when I do these battles is easier just to calculate the difference in skill. So I'm going to 4 difference, which means he needs to roll 4 higher than me, just for us to break even. He needs to roll 5 higher than me to injure me, actually. So so he rolls 7. So and I roll 5, so that is 2 higher, so or minus 2 higher after adjustments. So he's down to 3. He rolls a 7, I roll a 2, which is a difference of 5, which means he injures me. He rolls a 5 and I roll a 7. He's got 1 hit point left. He rolls a 10, I roll a 7, and he is dead. I'm down to 18 stamina. Okay, and I go to 114. The caveman is wearing a leather wristband with 4 small rat skulls hanging from it. If you wish to put it on your wrist, turn to 336. Now, usually things with rat skulls and stuff, they just start biting you, don't they? Well, no guts, no glory. I'm gonna check what they do. So, okay, so 336. Wrist and 298. Typical now is that they will bite you and you will get reduced skill. That will be the typical thing. It's even worse than I thought. The wristband was made and cursed by a hag. It slows down your reactions and dulls your senses, reduces skill by 4 points. Oh, that's funny. Okay. That's one of the worst ones I've ever seen, actually. Usually it's sort of 1 or 2, but 4 points? That is ridiculous. That is so bad, actually. It could be just mean that I was going to die really soon anyway, so I'll just ignore that, I think, because it's just going to ruin my game completely, I think. So, and just make me, because -4 skill, you might as well just start over, really, because there's hardly any chance of getting skill back. And there's absolutely no way ever, I think I've seen in any of these books, a way for you to remove cursed items, which it should be, by the way. So I'll probably just ignore that, but I'll just keep it for now, and then I'll see when I need to ignore it. I will ignore it. I'll just see if there's a chance for me to get my skill back first. Because skill -4, I mean, that is serious. You might as well just sit down in a wheelchair or something and roll off to a nursery home, or the nursing home. Nursing home. Roll off to a nursing home, because that's just, yeah, that's your end of your days as an adventurer, really. Yeah, so you see a backpack propped up against the tunnel wall. You wonder if it belongs to one of your rivals. If you wish to look inside the backpack, turn to 304. If you'd rather continue north, turn to 279. So, of course, I'm going to look inside the backpack now. 279. Oh, okay, so we'll go north. Where was it now? Yes. No, 304 is for looking inside the backpack and going north. I'm not sure I've got enough space now for this. And 279 for continuing north. Okay, so 304. There is a single gold piece lying in the bottom of the backpack. As you reach for it, you suddenly feel a light tickling movement. Why did I reach for it? Was I supposed to do that? I thought I'd just look inside. A light tickling movement on the back of your hand. You withdraw your hand slowly, trying to control your mounting panic, and are horrified to see a black widow spider. Before you can shake it off, it sinks its poisonous fangs deep into your wrist. Lose 6 stamina points. Okay. I'm not sure if this was the right way to go. Anyway, it's interesting. It's interesting. You're still alive, turn to 20. Okay. So... okay. Only your incredible strength could withstand the poisonous spider's bite. However, you are weakened and you notice your hand trembling as you pocket the gold piece. So at least I got 3 gold pieces. Reduce the skill by 1 point. That's kind of getting a bit comical now. You curse the person who dropped the backpack and set off north again. Turn to 279. I'm probably going to have to restart this soon, aren't I? At this rate. You arrive at a junction in the tunnel. A new branch leads west, but the wet footprints you have been following continue north. You decide to keep following the footprints, turn to 32. So that leads us back to, let's see, so skill -1. And then we get back there. Okay, so basically, there's absolutely nothing to be gained from, well, you get 1 gold piece. So this middle path here, basically you lose 4 skill and 6 stamina. You're basically screwed. The left path, it looks like the only thing you can get out of it is the acid. Or is there one more? What's this thing over there now? I'm just having a look at what I did last time. Let's see. Okay, so that's just an option for. So basically, the best path is the one going on the right here. It looks like, because then you get the rope, which helps you get to the statue. No, I think I'll just sort of start over again now, because with the skill down by 5, there's no way I can win this game now. So what I'll do is I will just go back to my save game that I had when I saved my game, of course, because I'm used to doing this now. I put in the disk drive, and I saved my game when I was at number 1. And well, actually, I did it at number 66 after I picked up the 2 gold pieces and tore the parchment. I mean, imagine the strength feat of tearing the parchment, and so cool. I thought that was quite an achievement. So, and then therefore I thought I'd save the game then. So I'm going to go back there, and then I'm going to go east, because that's the only direction that really makes any sense. And I'll be back to 1120, I think, and 2 gold pieces. And yes, and then now I know which path is the only one that's worth taking in the beginning. So, so I'm going to go to 119, which is turning east after you pick up the box with your name on it, and you get the 2 gold pieces, and you tear the parchment, giving you a really obvious hint. And so I'll go ahead. There we are. Ahead, you can see a large obstruction in the tunnel on the tunnel floor, although it is too dark to make out exactly what it is. The wet footprints you have been following carry on towards the obstruction. Of course, now there's 1 set of footprints that's going east now. If you want to continue east, turn to 56. You would rather go back to the junction, head west, turn to 293. So you've got a chance of turning back. But I'm not going to go back, so I'm going to go east and turn to 56. You see that the obstruction is a large brown boulder-like object. You touch it with your hand and are surprised to find that it is soft and spongy. If you wish to try to climb over it, turn to 373. If you wish to slice it open with your sword, turn to 215. No option of trying to go under it, but yeah. But then again, I'm not going on a bare hunt, so I'm not going to go through it. I'm going to go over it, actually. And so there we are. Because I didn't try that last time. Trying to slice it open, I lost a bit of stamina, so that's not too bad. But I'm going to try to climb it and see what happens. You clamber onto the soft boulder, half expecting to be engulfed by it at any moment. Getting over it is difficult as your limbs sink into its soft casing, but eventually you manage to struggle over it. Relieved to be back on firm ground, you head east, turn to 13. So that is obviously the right choice. I'm just marking my path now where I know for sure that that is where I'm going. So 13. The tunnel makes a sudden turn to the left and heads north for as far as you can see. The footprints you are following start to peter out as the tunnel becomes gradually drier. Soon you are beyond the dripping roof and the pools on the floor. You notice the air becoming hotter and you find yourself panting even though you are walking quite slowly. Now this is a part of the trap that I actually didn't... There's some bits here haven't tried yet. In a small recess on the left-hand wall you see a section of bamboo. Standing on its end. Lifting it down, you see it is filled with a clear liquid. The throat is painfully dry and you feel a little dizzy from the heat in the tunnel. If you wish to drink the liquid, turn to 147. If you do not want to risk drinking the liquid and would rather continue north, turn to 182. Now, I did lose a bit of stamina from... No, what was it again? From not having drunk. In fact, I'll try drinking now because I didn't try that last time. I don't know if that's going to be better than not doing it. So I'm going to try drinking. And the water in the bamboo pipe is welcomingly refreshing at 1 stamina point, which is a bit ridiculous because you actually haven't had a chance to... Actually, you have had a chance to lose one as you pass the big obstruction thing, which is a kind of a... spore thing, so fungus thing. So yeah, that's fine. So you get plus 1 stamina. It also contains a magical solution which will enable you to be exposed to melting point temperatures without harm. Okay, so it does protect you. So plus 1 stamina and protection. Because that becomes a question later. So that is also where you're supposed to go. So then supposed to go north, 182. So that is, so far we are on the correct path for winning the game. So far, so good. The temperature continues to rise and you find yourself dripping with sweat. As you struggle on, the heat intensifies until it feels like white heat and becomes so unbearable that you begin to pass out. If you drank the liquid from the bamboo pipe, turn to 25. But it is possible to pass out and die here, I think. So I did stop to drink, so I'm going to 25. Although the temperature in the tunnel is higher than you could normally tolerate, the liquid from the bamboo pipe keeps you alive. Turn to 197. So I'm skipping that bit where I'm trying to just keep conscious. And just out of curiosity now, because I won't need that again, what happens if you if you don't drink and you have to do a skill test, and if you fail a skill test, what happens is you die. Yeah, so that's what I thought. So I may as well just look at that now because I'm not going to do that again. I'm going that way and I'm to 197. Mercifully, the temperature now starts to drop rapidly and soon it feels almost cool again. On the left-hand side of the tunnel is a closed door. It has a small iron plate in it, which might possibly slide open. So, Yes. Now, the thing is, if you slide open the iron plate, everything seems to be fine. If you open the door, maybe you'll go into the trap because there's a pit or something just inside the door. So I'm going to try to slide the iron plate again, which is what I did last time. The small plate slides open easily and you find yourself peering into a room with a deep pit in the floor behind the door. So I presume that if you try to open the door, maybe it doesn't open easily. You have to sort of knock it open and then you fall into the pit and then you hurt yourself. On the opposite wall there are 2 iron hooks, on one of which hangs a coil of rope. If you wish to open the door, jump over the pit and take the rope, turn to 208. If you'd rather continue north, go to 326. Of course I'm going to get the rope, but since I'm here, and I'll just sort of quickly just have a look and see what happens if you try to open the door, and yes, you go into the trap. So if you don't open the hatch first, you lose 4 stamina points, actually, so not a good thing to do, stamina -4. Okay, so I'm going to get the rope, 208. The door swings open into the room and you step back and jump over the pit. You put the rope in your backpack and jump back over the pit to leave the room and head north. Turn to 326. So there we are. There's 2A, 326. Okay. Ahead, you see that the tunnel turns sharply to the left. You turn the corner and almost bump straight into 2 fierce-looking orcs. Armed with morning stars, or at least that's what it says in the text, although is it Ian McCaig that did the drawings in this one? Yeah, Ian McCaig, he doesn't know that the morning star doesn't have a chain on it. And wearing leather armor. You are totally unprepared, and as you draw your sword, one of them swings its morning star at you. Roll 1 die. If you roll 1 or 2, turn 2, etc., etc. So, I've only, of course, been here once before, so I don't know what happens on the 1 to 2 or a 5 to 6. I know on the 3 to 4, you get stamina -3. So let's see what happens on a 6. And I'm going to 380. The orc's morning star crashes into your shield and bounces off harmlessly. The tunnel is too narrow for both of them to attack you at once, so you're able to fight them one at a time. So that is pretty good, actually. Okay, so fight, so 5, 5, 6, 4. Fight. So that's probably 5 to 6 is the best result, it looks like. So we got 2 orcs to fight. I've got 11, 20. First orc 5, 5. Second orc 6, 4. So first one, I've got an advantage of 6 points actually on the rolls. So he rolls a 9, I roll a 10. He's down to 3 hit points. He rolls a 7, I roll a 9. He's down to 1 hit point. He rolls a 10, I roll an 8, and he is dead. Second orc, he's got 1 higher skill, so I've got a 5-point advantage on my rolls. He rolls a 5, I roll a 4, he's got 2 hit points left, and he rolls a 6, and he is dead. Right, that was quick and easy, and I won, and I'm going to go to 257. And that would be the same one, presumably, as, yes, there we are. Oops, that's the wrong color. 257, so that is inevitable as part of the correct path. Inside one of the orc's pockets, you find 1 gold piece and a hollow wooden tube. So we've got 1 gold piece, which means that at this point, if you don't open the box in the beginning, you will have 1 gold piece, which means you probably don't need to open up the box. And a hollow wooden tube. Okay, so hollow wooden tube, which I don't know if that's usable for anything, but we'll find out maybe. So, turn to 164. So that is that one. Still have to follow that path. And also I forgot to make a note of the rope, because I've now also got rope. As you walk along, droplets of water again start falling from the tunnel's ceiling. You see wet footprints made by the same boots that you followed earlier, heading west. The footprints lead to a closed iron door in the right-hand wall of the tunnel, but do not seem to go any further. If you wish to open the door, turn to 299. If you'd rather keep going west, turn to 83. So, in here, there was something I could get in here, wasn't there? So I'm going to go. I'm going to open the door. I think that's the correct path. That is to say, I'm not sure yet whether what I'm getting here is essential or not. I can't remember exactly what happens. I'll just go in there and see what happens now. Test lock. See, this is what happens when I don't write a proper map. I'm not sure what's going on or not. Let's do a quick look now on what I did last time. It looks like I don't think I get anything interesting here at all, actually. There's a chance of sort of getting some stamina back. I know that. Anyway, I'll just skip it, actually. I don't think there's anything interesting that's going to happen there. So I'll going to just keep going to go west, actually. 83. So the passage soon leads to a junction. You notice more footprints on the floor, possibly as many as 3 pairs heading north from the south passage. So this is... You decide to follow them, turn to 37. So now we are back. So now we've followed this path through here. And these ones, we sort of passed all that. And this is... Okay, 37. And now I basically know everything that's here now. It's just a few sort of options I haven't done on some of the things. But yeah. The passage opens out into a wide cavern which is darker but much drier. Ahead you see the footprints gradually fade and disappear. There is a large idol in the center of the cavern, standing approximately 6 meters high. That's quite high, actually. It has jeweled eyes, each as big as your fist. There are 2 giant stuffed bird-like creatures standing on either side of the idol. And of course this is quite interesting because you got in this picture you got these nice flightless looking birds looking a little bit like in sort of ornithorhynchus or something like that. And then of course when you climb up the statue they fly up to get you. I mean birds I mean seriously, look at the size of them. They wouldn't be able to hover even if they could fly. Anyway, it's just a bit funny. Yeah, and also they're not stuffed, obviously, they're just standing very still. If you wish to climb the idol to take the jewels, turn to 351. Yes, I do. And I know this is an essential item, the emerald that I get, so I know I have to do this. The idol is very smooth and will be difficult to climb. Do you have any rope? If you do, turn to 396. I do have rope. 396. And of course, having rope means I don't have to test my lock, which means I keep 1 lock point for later. You make the rope into a lasso, whirl it above your head and throw it at the idol's head, smiling happily as it falls around its neck. You then tighten the noose and start to climb, hauling yourself up the rope. You are soon at the top of the idol, sitting on the bridge of its nose and holding onto the rope. You draw your sword and wonder which jeweled eye to prize out first. Another thing too, of course, when you climb it with the rope, you actually get less of a disadvantage when the birds attack. If you didn't climb it with the rope, you have nothing to hold on to, and so you get 1 extra, well, your skill is reduced by 1 more point when you have to fight the birds. If you wish to prize out the left eye, turn to 151. If you wish to prize out the right eye, turn to 34. And this is another death trap, of course, because if you try to poke out the right eye, there's this other kind of poisonous gas that is released and you die. So it is the left eye that is the only eye that is possible to take. So as you touch the idol's emerald eye, you hear a creaking sound below you. Looking down, you are shocked to see the 2 stuffed birds flying off. Their wings flap in jerky movements, but they are soon above you and look set to attack. Fight the flying guardians one at a time, but reduce your skill by 2 during this combat because of your restricted position. So, for the purposes of this combat then, my skill is 9, stamina is 18. 18 then. And 11. And 7, 8, and 8, 8. So they're quite strong opponents, actually, these ones. So the first one's got, I've got a skill advantage only of 2 points for the first one. So let's see, he rolls an 8. I roll a 5, which means I'm down to 16 hit points. He rolls an 8. I roll 3. I'm down to 14. And this could be the end of it. He rolls 11. And I roll 12. Okay, that's fine. He rolls 9. And I roll 6. So that is still me getting clobbered here. He rolls a 4. I roll a 2, which is a draw. He rolls a 9. I roll a 6. I'm down to 10. I'm going to die here, aren't I? He rolls an 8. I roll 5. He rolls a 9. I roll a 6. Maybe 12 skill is what you need here. He rolls a 6. I roll a 4. That's a draw again. He rolls a 3. I roll a 7, so that's him down. He rolls a 5. I roll an 8. He's down to 2. He rolls a 4. I roll a 6. He is dead. The next one, however, has only 1 skill advantage, which isn't much. So he rolls a 6. I roll a 7. Okay, so he's down to 6 hit points. He rolls 5. I roll 4. That's a draw. He rolls a 10. I roll 7, so I'm down to 4 hit points. Maybe I should use a lock point to reduce the damage done to me there. So I use lock and roll a 9. Okay, so my lock is now 9, and I've got 5 hit points left, so I can get hit 3 more times. Okay, so he rolls 6. I roll 5. Okay, so that's the draw again. He rolls an 8. I roll a 3, so I'm down to 3 hit points. He rolls 7. I roll a 9, so he's down to 4 hit points. And excuse me. Right, sorry about that. Right in the middle of combat and everything. Okay, so right, so the bird's got 4 hit points left. I got 3 hit points left. We can both get hit twice and then we die. So so he rolls a 7 and I rolled a 2. Okay, so down to 1 hit point. Of course, if I die now, that's quite early, isn't it? But I still need to hit him twice. He rolls a 4. Well, that's good. I rolled a 5. Okay, so that means I hit him, but now I'm going to try to do 2 extra damage because that will mean he dies. So I'm going to roll for luck, and my luck goes down to 8, and he is dead. And I've got my 1 hit point left. So yes. Okay, so that's pretty hard. So the thing is, in this game is some of these battles are really hard. So okay, so I didn't have to cheat on that one. Luckily, I don't like cheating if I can avoid it. I may as well use my potion of stamina now, because that is going to get my stamina back to full, which is 18 points. And it just goes to show that with as high a skill as 11, you still can die quite easily. And this is also a battle that is unavoidable as well. So you just have to do it because you need to get the emerald. If you don't get the emerald, you don't win. So this is quite, yeah. So I think that even when you know the right path through this book, it is going to be quite hard to do it, despite what it says in the beginning. Because I didn't read that out, but I know they actually removed that bit from Return to Fight Up Mountain. But it says the one true way involves a minimum of risk, and any player, no matter how weak on initial dice rolls, should be able to get through fairly easily. This is a cut and paste from the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, of course, and it's absolutely not true. I think this battle has sort of proved that it's not true. So yeah, no, it isn't true. Not in this book. You need it will be very hard to do this with a skill of 10, I think. 11, yes, but you can get through it. But and 12, you might be okay, but it's still quite tricky. Anyway, the analysis is for another day, but just sort of, and it's an indication, just the things that I know you have to do to get to it. So 240. Let's see. 240. You look down and see the crumpled bodies of the two flying guardians lying motionless on the floor. You start to prise out the idol's emerald eye with the tip of your sword. At last it comes free, and you are surprised by its weight when it falls into your hand. What's a big lump of rock in it? So emerald. At last it comes free and you are surprised. Okay, hoping it may be of use later, you put it in your backpack. If you now wish to prise out the right eye, turn to 34. No, we're not doing that. If you'd rather climb down the idol, turn to 89. So we've got, so we've done the left one, 240, and then climbing down, which is 89. I have an 89 here. So for some reason I must have forgotten to put that in. Actually, I didn't do this. I haven't been here before because last time I climbed with the rope, I tried to prise out the right eye and then I died. Back on solid ground once again on the cavern floor, you try to shake the rope off the idol's neck. Test your luck. Okay. I don't know why I need to get the rope, but there we go. So let's see, my luck is down to 8, so I roll a 3 and it's down to 7. I hope I get some luck points at some point now. So let's see, test luck. So lucky 54, lucky 261, unlucky. Okay, so I was lucky and I go to 54. The lasso loosens itself and you're able to shake it free of the idol's neck. It falls to the floor with a loud clatter. You quickly coil the rope up again and put it in your backpack. So I presume maybe there's a place where you can use the rope again, because otherwise that's a complete waste of a luck point. Wasting no more time in the cavern, you run forward to the tunnel in the northern wall, turn to 239. So I'm keeping the rope, which I wasn't expecting actually, but it's not really a single-use item normally, is it? I mean, logically, if you were in this situation in the real world, which of course wouldn't happen, because you wouldn't be meeting cavemen like that, then, or flying birds that can't fly. Or parchment that can be torn. But if it wasn't in the real world, you would want to keep the rope, because rope is a valuable commodity, and of course there's no telling when you might need it again. So also, this is a kind of thing where you'd think that you would bring your own rope as well, because it's, I mean, it looks like you can bring your own stuff, so why wouldn't you bring a rope to start with? Anyway, 239. So I'm going there, and I'm going to 239. Not much farther down the tunnel, you come to a closed door on your left. Putting your ear to the door, you listen intently but hear nothing. If you wish to open the door, turn to 102. And What was there inside the door again? 250. Ugh, I can't read my own writing. Let's see what it says there. Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. I remember this room now. So I wish to open the door. So I do open the door, 102. Although this one is, I'm not sure if this is essential, but it will help me. So it will make life easier, I think. So you enter a room which is small and completely empty. As soon as you're inside, the door slams shut behind you. Suddenly, a voice booms out of nowhere, shouting, "Welcome to Deathtrap Dungeon, the ingenious killer labyrinth of my master. Adventurer, I trust you will pay respect to my master by shouting out his name. Will you shout, 'Hail, Circumvit'? Or Circumvit is a worm?" Now, of course, we have not been given any reason whatsoever to say the last thing ever before. I mean, as far as we know, he is a great guy, because without him, we wouldn't have this chance to win the Trial of Champions and win 10,000 gold pieces. So it's not very logical, the options here, but I'm going to say that Circumvit is a worm because it's the odd one out, and therefore, in this case, the one that you have to choose. Which isn't very good story writing, I think. But once again, the mysterious voice calls out, only this time, to your great surprise, in a far less threatening tone. "Good, my master likes those who show spirit. Take this gift to help you. It will grant you one wish, but one wish only. Farewell." A gold ring magically appears out of nowhere and lands at your feet with a gentle tinkle. You pick it up and put it on one of your fingers. The door opens and you step back into the tunnel to continue north. So you get a ring of wishes, or ring of a wish, ring of one wish. Ring of wishes, it sounds so much nicer than a ring of one wish. So get a ring, and then you get 344. So we've got around there. Okay. Which means it seems a good thing. And of course, there was a place where you were in the Hall of Mirrors and you had a kind of mirror creature that attacked you. If you had had a ring, it would have been easier to beat. But of course, if you didn't have it, it still didn't lose much in the way of, I think, just a little bit of stamina. Anyway, so 344. The tunnel twists and turns but keeps steadily north. Ahead you see a thin shaft of blue light streaming down from the ceiling to the floor. It sparkles and shimmers, and you can see images of laughing faces in the light. Wish to walk through the light, 10 to 229. That sounds really risky. We'd rather walk around the light, 10 to 107. Now, around the light seems to work perfectly fine. I'll probably still do that, but just out of curiosity now, I'm going to have a look and see what happens if you don't. And, well, actually, it's a good thing. So I'm just going to show that. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to walk through the light. A little bit of cheating today because I've sort of almost exhausted all the possibilities now, which means I'm sort of set in my path anyway, so it might as well have a bit of fun just looking at the other options. In this case, it's a positive one as well. So as soon as your head goes under the blue light, you hear the sound of muffled voices. The faces are no longer laughing, but have changed their expressions to ones of despair and anguish. A young girl's sad face hovers in front of you, and she begins to whisper a poem. Transfixed, you listen intently, believing that she has a special message for you as she recites. When corridor doth water meet, do not make a quick retreat. Take a breath and jump deep in. If your trial you hope to win. And as usual, of course, Ian Livingstone's poetry leaves some things to be desired. Sorry. Yeah. Memorizing the Spirit Girl's poem, you step through the shaft of light and quickly head on north. 10 to 107. So I need to jump into the water, basically. Okay. Right. I can't remember being in a place where I had to jump into water, do I? Anyway, we'll get to it one time. So memorizing the Spirit Girl's poem, you step through the shaft of light and quickly head on north. 10 to 107. You come to an arched doorway set in the right-hand wall of the tunnel. The heavy stone door is closed, but there is an iron latch and a round handle. You wish to try the door, turn to 168. If instead you wish to continue along the tunnel, turn to 267. Now, in there was a dagger that I can get. And as nice as that is, I'm not sure if it's going to be essential. And also, in order to get it, I would have to spend a lock point. And I'm already down to 7, which seems a bit risky to me. So I'm going to skip that bit. I know it's there, and I know if I ever need it. And was there something special about the dagger? Did it give you plus skill or something? Opal-studded dagger. Okay. Maybe there'll come a place later where you need the dagger for something special, but at the moment, I think I just want to save my skill point, and then later I can sort of find out whether it's worth it or not. So yeah, 200. I'm going to go north, 267. The tunnel ends shortly at a junction. Looking left and right, you see a narrow passage disappearing into the dim distance. If you wish to head west, turn to 352. If you wish to go east, turn to 68. Now, last time I went east. And there is a place there where you get +1 skill, +1 stamina, +1 luck, is it? But oh yes, of course. When you get to the when you turn east there's a chance for you to use the rope again. Now, I think that because you're supposed to use the rope there, maybe that is the right path to go. But I still want to know what's west. So let's do. I'll just pretend that I'm saving my game again now. I'm putting it in my desk in the disk drive, like in the old days, and I'm pushing. What was the? There was always a sort of standard shortcut for saving in the old days, wasn't it? It wasn't Control S. It was Shift F2 or something, or it was just F2. Anyway, if I remember correctly, I'm gonna go west and just have a look. But if anything happens now, I've sort of saved my game, so I'm gonna go back and go east with what I've got now. So I'm gonna just keep track of what happens there if it goes really badly. So 252. 252, yeah, was it? 352, yes, not 252. Okay. Ahead, you hear the sound of rocks being ground and crushed. The noise grows louder, and suddenly you realize that the wall on your right is starting to collapse. Terrified, you watch the large, hideous, worm-like creature with a gaping mouth and extraordinarily powerful mandibles slithers through a hole in the wall. Its great jaws continue to crunch the rock as it turns its head slowly from side to side. Feeling the cool air in the tunnel, it appears to be totally blind, but seems to know of your presence. Perhaps sensing the heat of your body, it starts to slither towards you with its mandibles wide apart to attack. If you wish to fight the rock grub, turn to 254. You would rather run back down the tunnel to the junction to head east, turn to 68. Okay, so now you're given a chance of going back. Okay, so you can go 68 or 254. So maybe this is just the encounter with the rock grub. I'm going to try to fight it though, because I'm interested to see if it's got anything interesting for me. So 254, you draw your sword and advance slowly towards... Why slowly? What you should do is you draw your sword and you quickly stab it through the head before it gets to do anything. You draw your sword and advance slowly towards the huge slimy rock grub. If you win, etc., you may escape after 2 rounds. Okay, so I've got 11, 18, And it has 7-11, so a skill of 7. So I got a 4-point advantage. He rolls a 4. He rolls 11 stamina. That's quite high, isn't it? I've got 9 left. He rolls a 7. I roll a 4, which is... Yes, that's me hitting him still. He rolls 11. I roll 2. That's definitely me getting a bit injured as well. He rolls 4, 4, 9, 7, 7, 7. He's down to 1 hit point, and 7, 7 again. So he's dead. Okay. So, rock grub 7-11, which is quite strong, and win. So escape is possible. Right. You step around the great bulk of the dead rock rub and peer into the darkness of its borehole. You can only see a few meters, but are able to make out that it inclines slightly and is wet from the secreted slime of the rock rub. If you wish to explore the borehole, turn to 317. If you'd rather walk west along the tunnel, turn to 117. So, borehole. Okay, that's interesting. 317. So I'm going to explore the borehole, of course. Because otherwise, what's the point of fighting the beast? Okay. Tapping the side of the borehole with your sword, you tread your way blindly through the sticky slime. You follow its twisting and turning course for what seems an age and begin to wonder where it might lead. Suddenly you hear a slithering sound up ahead. You freeze with fear, your eyes desperately trying to pierce the pitch-black darkness. Before you realize what is happening, you are gripped round the neck by the powerful mandibles of another rock rub. It is the mate of the rock rub you killed, and it has been attracted by the smell of blood on your sword. It squeezes harder until your neck snaps like a small twig. Your adventure ends here. So that is the end. But because I was saving my game, so I don't have to let that be the end. I only paid for just over an hour anyway, or just an hour. So obviously then I'm going west instead. I didn't go down the borehole at all, actually, it turns out. After a long walk down the tunnel, you come to a dead end. A large mirror reaching from the ceiling to the floor hangs on the end wall. In the dim light, you can just about make out your own reflection. If you wish to take a closer look at the mirror, turn to 329. You'd rather make the long walk back to the last junction, turn to 135. So, okay, so we've got 135, return, or mirror, 329. Okay, so 329 mirror. Now, you were given several chances of going back here before exploring this mirror. You were given a chance to go back when you met the rock rub. So there must be a reason why you get to look at the mirror. It must be something important, or it will kill you. One or the other. Let's find out. So I'm going to look at the mirror. You step up to the mirror and are amused by your distorted reflection. Your head looks as large as a pumpkin and your face is exceedingly strange. Suddenly, without warning, a terrible pain pounds through your head and you try to look away from the mirror, but you're unable to. Some evil force is keeping your eyes glued to your own reflection. You grip your head with your hands and realize with horror that it is expanding. You can withstand it no longer, and blacking out with the pain, you fall unconscious to the floor and never to wake. So that is also the end. So basically all these ways of getting back were just very nice ways to sort of hint that this is the wrong way. So now I'm just doing the return path as well, then might as well. So passing the rock rub's borehole on your left, you soon arrive at the junction. You take a quick look down the tunnel leading south, but do not see anybody approaching. Quickening your steps, you hurry east, turn to 68. So we are going up there. So Right. Seriously dead end, this one. So absolutely no point going in there at all. And I did save the game, of course, as I said, so I'm quite fine doing this now. You walk down the passage and soon find yourself standing at the edge of a deep, dark pit. The passage continues east on the other side of the pit. You think you could probably jump over the pit. That's a lot of pit, but you are not sure. There is a rope hanging down from the ceiling over the center of the pit. Now, this is not very good writing because the word pit has been repeated 3 extra times. Will you throw your shield over the pit and jump after it? Jump over the pit carrying all your possessions. Reach for the rope with your sword to enable you to swing across the pit. Oh yeah, I thought you needed a rope here. No, of course you don't need a rope. There is a rope. If you throw in your shield, you will make it. You will take a few extra points of damage later. If you try to jump over the pit carrying your shield, presumably it's a little bit harder and you have to roll full skill and all luck. And the rope may be a trap. I'll try the rope. I'm saving my game again now. I can use the same save as I used before. Gripping the rope firmly, you step back to take a running jump. However, in the dim light, you do not notice that someone has cut the rope almost in two, just a little way above the section you are holding. As you swing out across the pit, it suddenly breaks, and you scream with fear as you plunge headlong to the depths below. Turn to 285. So 285. You land heavily on your back, but luckily your backpack cushions your fall. Lose 1 skill point and 2 stamina points. Okay. The darkness is almost pitch black at the bottom of the pit, and you crawl along the floor, groping in front of you. Suddenly your hand touches something cold, hard, and smooth. The object is small and round, but you cannot figure out what it is. You place it in your backpack, hoping to see what it is once out of the pit. You continue to crawl forward and soon reach the pit wall. It is too smooth to climb, and you have to cut hand and toe holes in it with your sword. This takes a long time, but finally you climb out of the pit and onto the east side. You immediately check out the object in your backpack and discover that you have found an orb of blood-red ruby. You are absolutely delighted and head off east in high spirits, whistling softly under your breath. Okay, so ruby. So that doesn't seem like such a bad thing after all, does it? Well, apart from losing skill. So ruby. Now the question is, would it have been better trying to jump across with all your possessions? I wonder. Okay. Maybe not. Well, you wouldn't get the ruby potentially. So maybe the rope is the best option, and losing your skill and stamina actually is worth it. Is the ruby one of the gems you need at the end? It's quite possible, but I don't know yet. So I only know you need a sapphire and an emerald. Don't know if you need a ruby. So this is interesting. This is very interesting, actually. But so it depends, really. If the ruby is one of those gems you need, then it's a good thing. If it isn't one of the things you need, then you really want to get across in some other fashion. So, so skill -1, stamina -2. Actually, just the fact that you lose so much, that you actually lose skill, is not a very good sign. But let's see, 237. Okay. The tunnel makes a sudden left turn and continues north for as far as you can see. You soon arrive at a closed wooden door in the left-hand wall. If you wish to open the door, turn to 12. If you'd rather keep going north, turn to 100. I'm going to open the door. What was in there again? I can't remember. just know there's something I've... Yeah. Ah, yes. The door opens into a large candlelit room filled with the most extraordinarily lifelike statues of knights and warriors. A white-haired old man dressed in tattered rags suddenly jumps out from behind one of the statues and starts to giggle. Though he looks like a fool, the sparkle in his eyes makes you think there is more to him than is apparent. In a high-pitched voice he says, "Oh good, another stone for my garden. I'm glad you have come to join your friends. Now, I'm a fair man and someone will ask you a question. If you answer correctly, I'll let you go free, but if your answer is wrong, I'll turn you to stone." Starts to chuckle again, obviously pleased with your arrival. Will you wait for his question, attack him with your sword, or make a run for the door? So I'm going to wait for his question. The old man points at one of the statues, and you recognize it immediately. It is a knight who started the trial of champions. The agonized look on his face locked in stone for eternity. Let's see, we'll go there. Regardless. The old man smiles, saying, "This man weighs 100 pounds plus half his weight." How much does he weigh? Which is 200 pounds, obviously. So 391. Still smiling, the old man looks at you and says, "Well done, stranger. You have answered correctly. I wish you good fortune during the rest of the trial of champions, and to this end I shall increase your powers." And then mutters a few more unintelligible words, and you feel a powerful surge through your body. Add 1 to each of your skill, stamina, and luck scores. So 11, 17, 8. Okay. So that's my skill back there as well. So I suppose I didn't lose that much by getting the ruby. You bid the old man farewell and leave his room to continue north along the passage. Turn to 100. So, okay. So, at the moment I can say one should not go here at all, actually. Should definitely not go this way. Yeah, okay. Only a few meters further down the passage, you see another closed door in the left-hand wall. The letter X is scratched into its center panel. Putting your ear to the door, you listen intently but can hear nothing. If you wish to open the door, turn to 87. If you'd rather keep walking north, turn to 217. If you go through the door, you end up somewhere else, do you? 217. Oh, it's just... I've got to remember what's going on here now. Let's see what 217 leads, because I'm... Just to check what's going on with the map. Yeah, okay. Right, so because this stuff sort of seems very sort of one track here, this is obviously just another dead end. Well, and since I looked at it, I suppose it's actually just played out now, because it sort of goes for the theme of today. I think I've sort of stumbled onto more of the death traps this time. Anyway, so I was a bit curious, so I just had to see what happened if you go north. Now just go north. The passage slowly starts to climb, leading you relentlessly northwards. You do not come across a single junction. There are no doorways or even an alcove to investigate, and you become less guarded as you plod on. After a while, you become so nonchalant that you fail to notice a thin tripwire stretched low across the passage. It is only when your foot catches it and you hear a distant rumble that you realize your mistake. The rumbling sound swells to an almost deafening level, and suddenly out of the gloom of the tunnel ahead you see a massive boulder rolling towards you. Indiana Jones. Gathering speed with every second. Dropping your shield if you have one, lose one skill point, you turn to flee the oncoming boulder. So you lose your shield. And go to 36. Right. You run faster than you have ever run in your life before, but still the boulder is catching up on you. Roll 2 dice. If the total is the same as or less than both your skill and stamina scores, so it needs to be 10. Yeah. 10 to 340. If the total is greater than either your skill or stamina scores, etc., turn to 7. Okay, so let's just map that out. So you go to 36. And your fear gives you a new surge of energy, and somehow your tired legs manage to keep you in front of the boulder. Ahead on your right, you see the welcome sign of a doorway. You lunge at the door, and mercifully it flies open. The boulder thunders past, and you are left lying exhausted on the floor of a large room. 10 to 381, so that brings you just back to where you would have been if you'd gone the other way. So it seems that I was actually thinking I'm wearing my red shirt today, which of course is a bad thing if you're playing things like Starship Traveler, but it looks like I'm sort of walking into all the traps today as well, so yeah. Right, so 381. Or 17 again. Oh, 87 it says there. Oh. Oh, let's see, 80. Ah, yes. The 87, that's just a dummy paragraph, actually. So yeah, that's a pointless, that's why it's a dummy there. 381. So actually, that paragraph there is absolutely not needed for the book. It's just a waste of space. You look around the room and see nothing of interest apart from an alcove in the west wall and a stone chair in the middle of the room. Sitting in the chair is the skeleton of an armed warrior, possibly a contestant from years gone by. The skeletal fingers of its right hand are gripping round a piece of parchment. If you take the parchment from the skeleton, turn to 331. You'd rather walk over to the alcove, turn to 128. So you want to take the parchment from the skeletal warrior, of course. Go to 331. Although maybe before that, we should eat once. Eat one provision. Before I do that, bring it back to 20. So now there's going to be a fight with the skeleton. Because obviously you aren't clever enough to draw your sword before approaching what looks like an undead warrior. So touching the parchment had precisely the effect you had feared. The skeleton lurches forward and, rising from its chair in a series of jerky movements, raises its sword to strike you. Lunging sideways, you draw your sword to defend yourself. So we are at 10-20, and this guy has 8-6. So only 2-point advantage. He rolls a 10, I roll a 6. He rolls 9, I roll a 5. He rolls a 10. I roll an 8. That's a draw. He rolls a 6. I roll a 4. That is a draw. He rolls a 4. I roll a 10. That is a hit. He rolls a 7. I roll an 8. He is hit again. He rolls a 9. I roll a 7. That's a draw. He rolls an 8. I roll a 7. That is a hit, and he is dead again. Okay. So he is, let's see, 8-6. Where are we? 8-6, 8-6. So I win and I go to 71. Once again you reach for the parchment, only this time it is lying amidst a pile of broken bones. I thought a weird thing to write, isn't it? Stating the bleeding obvious. I mean, you just killed the skeleton. It's like saying all the thing you're picking up now from the body of the dead thing, it's amidst all the strewn body parts that you've cut off. I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, unfolding it, you see a map of a room with a drawing of a hideous creature inside it. Beneath the monster is a rhyme which reads, should you meet the manticore, of its tail beware, shield yourself against the spikes flying through the air, which is better poetry than usual from Ian Livingstone, although a bit sort of simplistic in a way, but it works. And also it's quite obvious though, isn't it? Beware of the spikes. Yes. If you see something pointy and sharp, beware of it. Yes. Anyway, in this case, it makes a difference because if you have read this poem, then you know what to do, and you are actually given an option, I think, if I remember correctly, to if you still have your shield, which of course I don't now. I dropped my shield. I had to drop my shield. So there's two places now that you can drop your shield. Either when you want to jump across the pit, you can drop your shield, and it's easier. You don't have to test for luck or skill or whatever it was. And I think it's luck. And if you don't drop, so you lose your shield very easily here if you. Anyway, turn to 128. Okay, so. So that hint, it may not make a big difference because the thing is, you very often end up without a shield anyway. So if you don't have a shield, it doesn't make a difference, does it? Where was the manticore again? Anyway, I think you'll probably be fine without the hint, but so that may or may not. So I'm just going to put a question mark there for whether that's the best optimum path is actually to fight the thing. It might actually be safer to not fight the skeleton and not get the hint, and then not know that you're supposed to use the shield to protect yourself from the manticore's spikes. We'll find out. Anyway, 128. At the back of the alcove are some steps leading down into a cellar. Cobwebs brush your face as you descend. The cellar ceiling is quite low, and the floor is strewn with rubbish and debris. In the middle of the wall opposite you is an archway which leads into another crystal-lit tunnel. There are large mushrooms growing on the rubbish to your right. If you wish to step through the archway, turn to 35. If you wish to stop to eat some mushrooms, turn to 233. I'm going to stop to eat some mushrooms now because I've got abilities that need replacing. Maybe they will help. You break off a large piece of the mushroom and bite into it eagerly. Immediately your stomach feels bloated and you can even see it beginning to bulge below your belt. Your whole body starts to expand, bursting out of your clothes with a loud ripping sound. You grow bigger and bigger, and soon your face is pressed against the ceiling. The mushrooms you have eaten are much sought after by wizards for their growth potions, but to you they spell doom. You are too large ever to leave the cellar, and your adventure ends here. I think dying 3 times today is probably enough. I think I'll call it the day. So, eating the mushrooms. Well, I had to try it sometime, didn't I? So that's no more paragraph there. The end. The end. Right. So that was quite an interesting little story there. So basically, right, I'm sort of established the beginning now as the correct path is where you get the rope, and then you use the rope to get the emerald. And then you go and get the ring, which you'll need later. And you don't go into this bit here. The rock grub, that's where I died. Technically died twice, I guess. Once by going down the rock grub's tunnel, and then once again by looking in the mirror. See, vanity is a dangerous thing, isn't it? So those two are the death traps there. And of course I know about this one, which I went into the first time. And then I can get a little bit of abilities left. And then you're crossing across this, but you're crossing across this little pit where you're not given a choice of climbing down into it or trying to climb down into it. At the bottom there is a ruby, which I don't know if I need yet. I know I'm needing some gems. I don't know if a ruby is one of them. I know sapphire is one. I know emerald is one. I sort of always presumed that diamond would be the other one. But then again, the only diamonds I saw last time, they were fake ones. So they're just sort of just dangling in front of your nose, the fake diamonds for you to rush after. And they weren't the real. So I still don't know whether I should be using the rope or try to jump across the pit. That's but it's one or the other. And then I know that there's absolutely no point going north here, because that's the only thing you get is to run with a boulder running after you, Indiana Jones style, which is great fun, of course, but not so. Basically, when you get there, you want to go there and there. I still don't know whether you need to get that hint or not in order to whether it will make a big difference, because I remember I didn't have a shield. Did I have a shield? I didn't have a shield last time I got to the Manticore, and I can't remember getting that much damage from it. I think I only got a few extra points of... Oh, there was a rolling... I rolled dice for damage, didn't I? And I was always very lucky with my dice rolls for those things. So maybe that actually is worth it. I think I'll say that is worth it. You have to just make sure you keep your shield, which means the correct path will be to jump across with all your items. And then, because there's actually several mentions of a shield now, so that indicates to me that I think the ruby is a red herring. Well, it is red, so I think you're not supposed to have the ruby. I don't think you need the ruby. I think you need a diamond and an emerald and a sapphire. I still don't know where to get the sapphire. So yeah, so I've died 3 times today, which is a good number to end on, I think. And I basically know what I'm doing in the beginning now, up until the point where I died. So I know that the next thing I'm doing is going there, and then there are a few options I have to look at next time. So yeah, it's been really interesting. I'm also trying to I've sort of looked at basically up to a certain point now. I know all of what's going on the map, basically, which is the whole point of making a map. So last time I died an extra time as well. So this today was my 4th, my 5th, and my 6th runs, I guess. So next time is technically the 7th time I'm playing this, even though it's my 3rd video. So or my my 4th video. So I've played. So yeah. So if anyone's trying to keep count, yeah, I've failed 6 times to date. So there we are. So I'll be back possibly tomorrow. I can't guarantee it. The thing is, I got so many other things going on these days. I'll see if I can make the time for it, but I'm not going to promise anything. So, but yeah, this is getting quite enjoyable, I think, and I can see why this is many people's favorite book now, because it rewards people perhaps even more than usual for mapping. And of course the death traps, the insta deaths, are they don't feel as contrived as they often do, because it's sort of really in the spirit of the book itself that there should be insta-deaths and traps that just, if you make the wrong choice, you will die. And you also feel that the choice you made, obviously, oh yeah, silly me, I made the wrong choice, I made the wrong turn there, I tried to get the wrong eye, etc. It feels fair because you know it's part of the game and the part of the trial that you're facing, the trial of champions, which is no walk, but I can tell you it's so yeah. So 7th time lucky, maybe next time. And in any case, thanks for watching. Thanks for being with me through all of my trials and tribulations and my deaths. And I will see you next time with more Deathtrap Dungeon. Well, hopefully, my 7th time I will at least be able to find the sapphire. That would be a step in the right direction. And I still don't know where there is a diamond, if there is one. My theory, actually, I've got a theory now. I think one of the other contestants would have picked up the diamond already. Maybe I have to meet someone else. You meet the barbarian, of course, you know what he's up to. I'm sure I've seen, as I've been leaving past, I think I've seen the ninja as well, the assassin guy. Maybe he's got the diamond. That's my new theory. I need to meet the ninja to get the diamond. Maybe I will. In any case, I'll find out next time, hopefully. At least I know what to do in the beginning. And thanks for watching, and goodbye for now. Bye.